Hidden in the heart of a remote countryside, Ashmore Prison stands as a grim testament to decades of punishment, isolation, and human suffering. Closed for over 30 years, its rusting gates, broken cell doors, and crumbling walls have become the focus of whispered legends, daring explorers, and paranormal enthusiasts. Stories of restless spirits, eerie cries, and unexplained movements pervade the ruins. But beyond the ghost stories lies a chilling history of human endurance and cruelty. Ashmore is not just haunted by imagination, it is haunted by the lives. It contained the injustice it witnessed and the violence that unfolded behind its high stone walls. Ashmore Prison was built in 1892, during a period when penal philosophy emphasized isolation and deterrence over rehabilitation. Modeled on the Victorian-style penitentiary, it featured long, narrow cell blocks, thick stone walls, and a central guard tower that allowed authorities to observe every movement within. Over the decades, Ashmore became home to thousands of prisoners, ranging from petty criminals to hardened offenders. Life inside was harsh, regimented, and often brutal. Cells were small, cold, and overcrowded, leaving inmates with little privacy or comfort. Records indicate that rations were minimal, sanitation was poor, and disease outbreaks were common, contributing to high mortality rates. The conditions inside Ashmore were compounded by strict disciplinary measures. Solitary confinement, physical punishment, and forced labor were routine. The prison employed a rigid system of hierarchy among inmates, with some forced to enforce rules on others. This environment created a constant tension, where fear, anger, and despair simmered just below the surface. Guards maintained authority through intimidation and cruelty, often punishing minor infractions with severe consequences. For the inmates, every day was a test of endurance, a struggle for survival in an environment designed to break spirits as much as bodies. Several documented incidents at Ashmore fueled the legends that persist today. One of the most notorious involved a prison fire in 1937 which engulfed an entire cell block. Official reports state that 22 prisoners perished before the fire could be contained. Survivors recounted screams echoing through smoke-filled halls, prisoners desperately trying to escape locked doors, and guards struggling to maintain order. Though the event was tragic, it was treated primarily as a matter of operational concern rather than human loss. For those who visit Ashmore today, the memory of the fire is palpable. Locals claim that the smell of smoke lingers even decades later, and faint cries can still be heard in the affected area. Other accounts focus on the solitary confinement cells, some as small as 5 feet by 7 feet, where inmates were left for weeks at a time with minimal food or water. Former staff described strange occurrences near these cells, doors opening and closing on their own, shadows moving where no one stood, and an oppressive cold that seemed to seep from the walls. Inmates themselves, in later interviews, spoke of hearing whispers, seeing figures in the corners of their cells, and sensing presences that were not human. Whether these experiences were the result of psychological stress, trauma, or something more supernatural, they have become part of Ashmore's enduring mystique. Prison records also reveal patterns of unexplained deaths and disappearances. In several cases, prisoners were found dead under mysterious circumstances, with causes officially listed as natural but questioned by staff at the time. Autopsy reports were often incomplete, and some bodies were never thoroughly examined. These incidents, combined with the harsh living conditions, created a climate in which rumors of ghosts, restless spirits, and haunting began to take root. By the 1960s, Ashmore had developed a reputation not only as one of the toughest prisons in the region, but also as a place where the line between the living and the dead seemed blurred. After the prison closed in 1989, Ashmore fell into decay, yet the stories of haunting only grew. Urban explorers and paranormal investigators who dared to enter reported a range of phenomena: sudden drops in temperature, doors slamming without explanation, and ghostly figures glimpsed in the shadows. Security cameras installed temporarily captured unaccountable flashes of light. Audio equipment recorded whispers and indistinct cries that could not be attributed to wind or wildlife. Perhaps most disturbing were reports of apparitions resembling former inmates, sometimes wearing tattered uniforms or wandering aimlessly through corridors, as if replaying the traumas of their lives over and over. One particularly chilling area is the punishment yard, where inmates were forced to perform grueling labor under the watchful eyes of guards. Locals claim that at night the clanging of tools and footsteps can still be heard, echoing across the abandoned space. Visitors have described an oppressive sensation, as though the anguish of decades is concentrated in that single area. Some paranormal investigators suggest that trauma and intense emotion can imprint on physical spaces, creating residual energy that continues to manifest long after the original events. Others view these phenomena as psychological responses to isolation, fear, and the eerie architecture of the prison itself. The architecture of Ashmore contributes to its unsettling aura. Narrow hallways, high ceilings, barred windows amplify ordinary sounds, creating echoes that make empty spaces seem alive. Light filtering through broken windows casts shifting shadows, and long-abandoned furniture and cell remnants give the impression of frozen time. Visitors often describe a sense of being watched, of cold fingers brushing past, and of hearing footsteps following them down hallways that are empty. Whether these experiences are supernatural or psychological, they reinforce the notion that Ashmore is a place where the past refuses to stay buried. Ashmore's history is also a reflection of broader societal attitudes toward punishment, mental health, and human dignity. The harsh conditions, neglect, and rigid discipline mirror a period in history when incarceration was more about control than rehabilitation. The stories of ghosts, while terrifying, can be seen as symbolic of unresolved trauma, societal guilt, and the lingering echoes of lives treated as disposable. In this sense, Ashmore is haunted not only by spirits but by the consequences of human cruelty, indifference, and systemic failure. Today, Ashmore Prison draws interest from historians, urban explorers, and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Its reputation as one of the most haunted sites in the region has made it the subject of documentaries, ghost hunting expeditions, and countless stories online. Preservationists argue that even in decay, Ashmore is a vital historical site, offering lessons about the treatment of prisoners and the social history of incarceration. Meanwhile, paranormal investigators continue to document strange phenomena, ensuring that the prison's reputation as a place where the dead refuse to rest remains. Firmly entrenched, the legacy of Ashmore Prison is multifaceted. It is a place of human suffering, resilience, and endurance. A location where countless lives were confined, broken, and sometimes extinguished. In a site where memory, trauma, and legend intertwine. Whether one believes in ghosts or not, the accounts of paranormal activity are inseparable from the documented realities of life and death within its walls. Every story, every unexplained sound, every shadow glimpsed by explorers is rooted in decades of human experience. Adults and elderly prisoners who lived and died there under extraordinarily harsh conditions. Ashmore reminds us that history is not always tidy, and the past does not easily fade. Buildings like memories carry the weight of what occurred within them. The cries, fears, and hopes of those who once inhabited Ashmore continue to resonate through the empty halls, whether as supernatural echoes or the lingering imprint of trauma. Exploring these stories gives voice to the lives that might otherwise be forgotten. It helps us reflect on how society treats its most vulnerable members. So, if you want to uncover more hidden histories, explore chilling abandoned locations, and hear stories of places where the past refuses to remain silent, make sure to hit that like button. Leave a comment about what startled or fascinated you most about Ashmore Prison. Subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's darkest corners. Because Ashmore is more than just a haunted prison, it is a testament to human endurance, suffering, and memory, and its ghosts, whether real or symbolic, remind us that some places never truly forget.